up guys, it's Kayla
and Jim.
Welcome back to another Meteorology Monday. What are we talking about today?
Today we are going to talk about the National Hurricane Center's experimental cone of concern product. So these are the cone products if you've ever gone out to the National Hurricane Center and there's been a storm and it has the traditional cone. In August of this year they put out an experimental product alongside of it to enhance some of the features so that users weren't so fixated on the center point line, but to understand the broad impacts of the storm as well and how to relay that graphically. We will get into that as well as some of the user feedback, but before we get started,
if you find that you are enjoying this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below so you never miss the next Meteorology Monday.
Let's get started. So the cone. The cone comes by many names. Cone of uncertainty, the cone of concern, even the cone of death. What really is the cone?
So the cone indicates where a tropical system is going to be over the next X amount of hours. You've got a line in the middle that shows where they think the eye is going to go, but the cone itself goes much wider, especially the farther out you get, hence the uncertainty part, because the eye can wiggle either towards the left or the right following the white lines of the cone itself.
And that width expands over time because statistically they found that when they've made their forecasts, the distance from the actual location of the eye compared to their forecast varied by X amount of miles. So therefore, as you go out from the initial point and you go out in time, that cone gets wider and wider based on those statistical numbers that they had calculated. Now, I do know that the width has been shrinking over time as they've been improving forecasts, but they still have that cone in place because there is, like you said, the wiggle room. Especially we saw it with Milton and Helene.
Yeah, and it's important to recognize that for this cone, it's dictating where the eye of the storm might go, so impacts can be felt much farther outside the cone. This is just where the center of the tropical system is forecasted to be within X amount of hours. But that's with the regular cone. We have a new experimental cone. What does this product show us that the original does not?
So the original, if you take a look at the original, we've got some examples for you. Let's take a look at the example of the existing cone right now, and that is as you see the typical white cone, and you will see watches and warnings for the coastal communities. Now, the new experimental product, as we look at the next image, not only does it have that information, but it also has the inland watches and warnings as well. And that way you have one graphic to actually show how expansive the storm's impacts are going to be. So looking at the side-by-side comparison, if you look at the existing cone and then you look at the new experimental cone, you can see that it's more than just a line or a path through a certain area. It actually shows the impacts as well. We got another example, Hurricane Milton. Here's the existing cone product right now, and here's the new product. So side-by-side comparisons, you can see on one product, you can kind of get the scope or the scale of magnitude of how far this storm is going to impact. There you have some comparisons of the existing cone product as well as the new experimental product. Now what they're trying to do is they're getting user feedback, and they want to, any changes that they make, they want to incorporate those into the 2025 hurricane season product as maybe a regular product to be offered. So let's take a look at some of the feedback they've already gotten. We're going to take a look at some of the comments from the National Hurricane Center's Deputy Director, Jamie Rome, and let's see what he had to say about some of their initial feedback.
So far, the data indicates a very positive start on the experimentation. People seem to have a favorable impression. There's better visualization of inland risks. Helene impacted areas far inland. Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina are places that got rocked pretty hard by strong winds. Imagine communicating that risk without this type of graphic. A lot of people feel the graphic provides better visuals and they can see the risks where they live, Rome said. It's easier to not only see, but also to convey the inland component of the risks. And although there have been some positive feedback comments, there have also been some negative ones. Some people find it cluttered. Too much information and too many colors, Rome said. We'll work through the comments to see if there are any subtle changes that could be made to the legend.
So users have got exposure to this new cone product, but let's follow that through from the National Weather Service office standpoint. So as the Hurricane Center is issuing these and they're coordinating with the surrounding National Weather Service offices where this is going to impact, what are the improvements that are happening at those National Weather Service offices? Before the experimental cone was launched in August, the National Hurricane Center said it could take forecasters up to 30 minutes after each advisory to pull together watches and warnings for both coastal and inland counties, put them on a map, and then post it online. With more experience, the delay has narrowed to only a few minutes, Rome said. We're looking to see how to automate that and improve it even more. It's fascinating to watch them at the time of advisories, to see them all rally together to get it out as quickly as possible. You could tell they were proud of it, and they were invested in it, wanting to see it succeed.
And if you're interested in reading about additional feedback that they've had so far, we will pop that up on the screen now for you. So now that we've talked about the cone, the biggest question is where can you go to find this product? So you just go to where you normally go to see the cone images for a hurricane, and if it's close enough to land to have this experimental cone, there will be a little link highlighted at the bottom with a bunch of little asterisks that say click here for experimental cone product. So there you have it, the National Hurricane Center's new experimental cone product. Again, if you like what you saw, be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below so you never miss the next Meteorology Monday. As always, follow us over on our weather adventures, Facebook and Instagram, as well as checking out our School of Weather if you'd like to learn the basics of meteorology or get into some of the nitty-gritty of severe weather and how it forms. We have a series of online courses, and we'd love to have you join us over there. Until next time, I'm Kayla.
And I'm Jim.
Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you at the next Meteorology Monday.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ready?
Go for it.